Good day, everybody. I'm Admiral Jim Stavridis, the chairman of the board of the U.S. Naval Institute, and I'm here in my wonderful office overlooking the Severn River with two midshipmen from the 16th Company, which is the company that I was in when I was a midshipman, graduating with the class of 1976, otherwise known as 1.2 million years ago. So I've got Zach and Evelyn here who are going to ask a few questions, and I'll open it up to you, Evelyn. What would you like to ask about?
Sir, so we wanted to ask you a little about your time as a member of 16th Company.
Sure.
What was your mascot, and could you just tell us about the atmosphere and your relationship with those members that you graduated with?
Sure. We didn't have a mascot. Maybe that's something that's evolved over the years. If we had had a mascot, it probably would be like a beer can with wings on it. But we lived in the 7th Wing. I don't know if that's where you folks are, but we were sort of way out of the mainstream of the brigade. We were famous for trying to get out of the yard as often as possible. We had a very high social component. We were a pretty sketchy bunch. And as I was telling you before we started the interview, we started with around 30. And by the time we were firsties, we were down to about 17 or 18 people in the company. So we were not only a little on the sketchy side, but we also we had academic challenges as well. So it was a very bonded company, I think, as a result of that, Evelyn. We all got along extremely well. And to this day, many, many years later, we're still very, very close.
So
What is the mascot now of the 16th Company?
We're the Centurions.
The Centurions. Wow,
Yes,
that's pretty martial.
Yeah.
That definitely wouldn't have been our mascot.
Thank you. I don't know if you'd be happy to know, but I think that reputation may kind of
Still
somewhat still
exists
exist.
today.
Oh, good.
Carries on.
I'm glad to hear it. One other thing we had that we were slightly famous for was that I was Salty Sam. So, so 16th Company was always featured in all of the hijinks associated with Salty Sam. And I was also, the year before that, I'd been the editor of the Log magazine, so 16th Company was highly publicized, if not highly accomplished.
That's good to hear. Sir.
Zach, would you like to ask anything else?
Sure. Well, I think you had a pretty long and extensive career. And not that I was
No,
anything,
I
but,
agree.
And you got to do a lot of awesome things.
Thank you.
What was your favorite part of your career?
Sure.
What's your favorite billet? Your favorite job?
What a great question. I'll give you two because I think all really wonderful Navy careers are kind of divided into sea duty and shore duty. So my favorite sea duty assignment, it will not surprise you to hear, was my first commander command when I was the captain of the USS Barry, which was just a wonderful, wonderful Arleigh Burke destroyer. At the time, brand new. Think of that. She's now, pushing 20 years old. And I loved that ship. We had a wonderful, wonderful crew. We won the Battenberg Cup as the top ship in the Atlantic Fleet. And it was just a place where people pulled together very, very well. So I love that. My favorite shore duty assignment, you might expect me to say being the Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, which was a lot of fun and very challenging, and we loved living in Europe. But my absolute favorite shore duty assignment was the one before that. I was the commander of U.S. Southern Command, and so I got to live in Miami, Florida, which is, of course, where I'm from. It's where Evelyn's from. It's where all really talented people are from. It's a terrific place to live, and my job was to be in charge of all military operations south of the United States. So Central America, the Caribbean, South America. So I traveled extensively. I speak Spanish and French, and so it was very comfortable for me to be in that part of the world. And we loved Miami as a city, and it was also my first 4-star assignment, and was a time when I was able to really put to use everything I'd learned over the years about joint operations, and so I really enjoyed that one. So those would be the two.
Awesome.
Yeah, Evelyn, anything else?
Yes, sir. So I read that you were at Southcom when the Americans were released from Colombia, and same with the Colombian hostages. My family is originally from Colombia, and I actually was in Colombia when the prisoners were released. And I can tell you firsthand just how joyous the Colombian people were. Everybody was just so proud of the United States. Just like there was a lot of great feelings towards the United States, and I just kind of wanted to ask firsthand, how much input did the Southcom have in helping with the Colombian mission, and how likely was success, and what were the feelings of when it actually happened?
Yeah, just to fill in the story for those who don't know it, we had 3 American contractors. They had worked for a U.S. defense firm who were captured when a small plane that they were flying in crashed. They were taken prisoner by the FARC, and they were held for 7 years. And we had tried everything to rescue them, repeated efforts to try and go in and use special forces to get them out. And the FARC always managed to just slip ahead of us. So the Colombians, the Colombian military, came up with this brilliant idea of a ruse where we told the FARC, hey, we're just going to come in and bring in a publicity team. And the FARC fell for this. All of it was done by the Colombian military. We did provide some intel support, some signals information, and I would say it's a fair comment that the Colombian military capability at that point, Evelyn, was built on many, many years of U.S. training and partnership. But I give full credit to the Colombian military for that rescue. What was it like? I just almost can't describe it. We had, as a command, we focused a great deal throughout my time and really throughout the whole time Tom, Mark, and Keith were held captive on their situation. And the sense of exuberance when we finally knew they were free and that the helicopter had lifted away with them is extremely hard to describe, but was the highlight of my 3 years at U.S. Southern Command. Y habla usted español, por supuesto.
Sí, y Zach también habla.
Ah, qué bueno, qué bueno.
Un poco.
¿Dónde estudia español?
En la escuela.
A la escuela aquí.
Sí, y mi colegio.
Qué bueno, qué bueno. Creo que es muy importante hablar español a este momento porque a este momento 15% de nuestra población habla español por su primer idioma. Importante. Zach, any other questions?
Sure. Kind of to piggyback off of that, do you think with like the political turmoil going on in Venezuela right now, that something could happen out of that, and that the U.S. might get involved with that, or even maybe something down in Argentina, or just anywhere in South America for that matter?
I think the odds of U.S. military intervention in any country south of the United States are 0. I just don't see U.S. military activity in any of those scenarios. In the case of both Venezuela and Argentina, there's a great deal of internal political turmoil in progress because of 2 very unpopular and very incapable presidents, Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela and Christine Fernandez Kirchner in Argentina. Both of them have lost the confidence of the electorate, and as a result, I think there are a wide variety of very turbulent events that could unfold. But the United States will not be involved in that. Those are decisions to be made by the people of Venezuela and the people of Argentina. And I think they will make the right decisions, hopefully using the democratic process. And I think both President Maduro and President Fernandez Kirchner have very difficult electoral paths ahead of them. Let's put it that way. Anything else you'd like to ask about?
Unless maybe you could speak to them about your career of writing and your relationship with the
That is,
yeah, sure.
That's actually something we want to ask.
Sure.
How have you found time to write
sure.
all these books? And
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading a little bit of your most recent, and I love it. So I don't know how you've been able to have such a great career and have time for like producing such great works.
It's a wonderful question. There's sort of a prosaic answer to it, which is when I was 14 years old, my dad said, okay, you're going to high school now. You can take any course you want while you're in high school. You ought to take whatever makes sense for you, except my dad said, I want you to take 2 courses. One was typing. In those days, you would take a typing class to learn how to type. Imagine that. And the other class was journalism. And his theory was, turned out pretty accurately, that if you can type and if you can write journalistically, which is to say you can produce a lot of words accurately under pressure, he felt those would be good skills to have in life. So I developed that in high school. I became, kind of the editor of my high school newspaper. I came here to Annapolis. I became the editor of the Log and then Salty Sam. Fred Rainbow, the longtime proceedings editor, one of my dearest friends, was extremely influential in helping me publish as a midshipman in proceedings. I also wrote for Shipmate. And I guess, Evelyn, it became almost a habit to sit down every day and to try and bang out a few pages. And like anything else, if you practice it and you have dedication to it, you gradually amass an ability to produce writing quickly. The thing I would say to young people who are thinking about writing is, so often people are intimidated with the thought that, when am I going to find time to sit and write this big article? It's like any other task. Do it in small bits and try and just write a few paragraphs about something that interests you. Keep a journal and then use that to craft something about your daily life as a junior officer. Write about things you know, write small things, short things, and then try and make them additive over time. So I guess that's another way of saying don't leap into writing a book. Don't even leap into writing a big, long article, but maybe write something for proceedings, like Nobody Asked Me But, or at the outside, perhaps a professional note. There are many ways you can get at it. And also, in today's world, do a little blogging, or jump on some of the sites like the Naval Institute's web chat-based sessions are a great place to express some ideas. But the more you practice, the more you get at it, the more fearless you are in what you say, the more you'll find time to write and produce writing as the world goes by.
Thank you.
Okay, terrific. Well, really nice meeting both of you. I just
Thank you
enjoyed
so
that
much.
very much.